I welcome y'all to the PPL Live Show. Shit's liver than a California sideshow. On the board, all the teams talking mad shit, especially when the squad gets their ass kicked. PPL's like a bad bitch with an ass lift. Everybody wants to get some action. Making trades while we're drafting. One of a kind, no other they can match it. PPL ever coming to you live. 12 years strong and we're never gonna die. Real talk so you know we'll never lie. Betting down 50 trying to win the whole pie. Let's get the shit cracking. Welcome to the best sports show on the planet. Damn it. Tune in to the PPL Live Show. Kick your feet up like the blunt, get your eyes low. PPL gets you ready for the week. Co-host Matt Page shows hate when he speaks. Gino and the Jake gonna speak what he see. PPL motherfucker, I'm a OG. I'm ready for the shit to get started. Time to find out who's good and who's garbage. It's time to find out who the next champ is. Trying to win the whole pot, time to go cash in. World War III, time to load up your team. Hit the battlefield, leaving blood on the scene. You can speak what you think, I don't care what you mean. Focused on me, steady building my team. Now I'm sicker than COVID-19. EJ hops on the throne, but I'm coming for a seat. So's everyone else in the league. I just don't see a challenger stronger than me. With that said, dog, I'm ready for war now. Like I'm strapped in the hood, kicking doors down. PPL is my game now. Used to be fun, but the shit ain't a game now. Bringing the pain now. Oppositions laid down. Done with the flow, dog. Nothing left to say now.
And that was our man Charlie White giving us the 2020 intro to PPL Live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Gino the Gent here. Week 7 is here. Ulysses S. Hate is here. PPL Live is here. Let's get started and let's take a look back at our scores from week 6. Starting with the Argonauts defeating Appease the Gods 124-75. Only for the Boss leaves no doubt 150 to the United Players 102. The Mean Machine sneaks by Patty's Twins 107-101. The GAFF Attacks keep up their winning ways, going up 117 to the Baby Gas Teams 105. And Squad Underestimated gets it done on Monday night behind the Leave No Doubt Player of the Week, Kyler Murray. Unanimous yet again. Kyler Murray is our Leave No Doubt Player of the Week, going for 30 points on 188 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He also had a rushing TD and 74 yards rushing in the game to lead Squad Underestimated to the 135-120 win over the Skulls. Now things turn to week 7 as interconference warfare rages on, as we start off with Appease the Gods taking on Only for the Boss. Alright, man, so Only for the Boss, man, they are the highest scoring team in the league, the most dangerous team in the league by far. They showed it again, leaving no doubt again with 150. Appease the Gods, it seems like their scoring is going in the opposite direction. They were only able to muster 175 in their loss to the Argonauts. What do you think of this matchup here, man? Only for the Boss, Appease the Gods.
Sure, yeah, I think, Appease the Gods left a lot to be desired. They left quite a bit of doubt last week, in my mind. Guys just not getting involved in the action. Mike Evans,
right.
Ebron, Madison, non-existent. I mean, it was just poor effort. I mean, the Packers looked terrible. So, and I just really think that was a game they needed to win. Mm-hmm. And just given the interconference warfare and where it's going, Alpha's looking like the dominant conference this year.
Right.
And so I think in order for an Omega team to get in, as I'm looking at it, it's going to be hard for them to get probably more than one team into the playoffs if the interconference warfare continues the way it has. And so I think Appease the Gods, their task doesn't get any easier, and I think they lose. I think that Only for the Boss continues their winning ways. I don't see how they can do this without Lamar Jackson, with the inconsistent play at the head coach position, defense. The intangibles just have not been there for Appease the Gods.
Right.
And I think that it's just with Patrick Mahomes facing a familiar opponent in Denver, a Denver team that I think may have peaked last week with that win in New England. I think they're going to have a real tough time against Kansas City, and I've got Only for the Boss rolling this week, 141-112.
All right, man. I'm going to have to agree with you here, man. I'm going Only for the Boss as well. And you know what? The reason I'm going only for the boss and why it's an easy pick, almost it's becoming an easy pick on a weekly basis, is because of the other guys. Ronald Jones, man. I believe he had 26 last week. James Conner has given them stability at running back. He had 17 last week. Calvin Ridley is the number one receiver in the PPL. He had a nice 15.9, so a solid 16 last week. That's not counting that Chief dominance. And let's not forget about Stephon Diggs. He leads the NFL in receiving yards, and he actually had 13.6 last week. So Appease the Gods is going to need a lot to go right against Only for the Boss. Everyone who's not a Chief is a lethal weapon now. They've got weapons everywhere. They're the scariest team. Now, when I look at Appease the Gods, Joe Mixon, he needs another big game. He's a guy that if he plays well, they're able to get things done. But he's been missing in action. I do like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but he's losing some luster because of Le'Veon Bell's emergence. And then, of course, we talked about Mike Evans. It's seeming like Tom not being able to get the ball downfield is kind of capping Mike Evans' effectiveness. I got Only for the Boss in this matchup, winning this one 138 to 117. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into a crucial matchup for both teams as the Skulls take on the Argonauts. All right, man. So the Skulls, they were the victims of Squad Underestimated's glorious comeback on Monday night. They had put out a pretty good lead. Deshaun Watson had 37 points. And then, of course, the Argonauts had probably one of their better showings of the season so far with their 124 to 75 win over ATG. What do you think of this matchup, Skulls, Argo?
Yeah, Skulls, really losing a heartbreaker. I thought that they were in position up until that Monday night game. It was tough the way that one fell. That being said, I think that they get right this week.
Yeah.
As I look at this Skulls lineup right now, they've got some really high ceiling scoring potential, and frankly, they're at 100%.
Right.
I think that the Argos have not, again, shown the scoring potential that they have in previous years. Not having a guy like Nick Chubb, not having a Justin Jefferson that just scored about 40 points last week,
right?
You're going to miss that production. Julio is not a young guy anymore, and I think he may be a little bit banged up. And Zeke can't hold on to the football. This guy's number 5 at his position rank.
Yeah, it's getting scary, man.
Yeah, if you take away the fumbles, he'd probably be the number 1 running back. And then, I'm just not necessarily sold on this New Orleans-Carolina matchup. It's interconference. It could be a high-scoring shootout. It could be a more tough defensive game. And then I just think the Skulls have the better coach and defensive matchups. Bears are playing the Rams. I think that the Bears get this game. I think that the Bills cruise against the Jets. And again, I think that the Saints-Carolina game, it may be a little bit more contentious. And so I think that the Skulls win a very close matchup and get this one 145 to 138.
All right, man, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think the Skulls also get this matchup. And the reason why is because of the receiver position. I think Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are going to be in a shootout in Arizona. And I think that they're going to both play well in that afternoon slot. And also look at two things. Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams and Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs. What this matchup is probably going to turn on is what the game plan is in those two matchups as far as running and passing goes, and who's the dominant breadwinner there. And I think that actually favors the Skulls. I think that the Buccaneers are going to lure the Raiders into a shootout, and that's going to force the Raiders to have to pass, and Waller's their best receiver all around. And when you look at the Packers, I think that they'll be able to get a lead against Houston, and they'll make sure that Aaron Jones is very, very involved. On the Argonaut side, they still got to figure things out at QB. Drew Brees is back in the lineup. He's been their most consistent guy, obviously, so they're going to roll with him there. Ezekiel Elliott, like you said, he's getting to a point now where if he can't hold on to the football, even the Cowboys might have to start looking at giving carries to other guys. So Zeke's got to play better. The other guys, McLaren, we'll see what he can do, but that's more of a dice roll. I love Mike Davis, how he's filled Christian McCaffrey's role. I got the Skulls here winning this matchup 131 to the Argonauts 117. And moving on to our next matchup, we got the United Players, the Destroyers, taking on the Mean Machine. All right, man, the United Players, the Destroyers, left 44 points on their bench with Derrick Henry, another 16 with Gronk, and I believe they also left a bunch on the bench with Godwin there. And then obviously the Mean Machine pulled one out thanks to the Twins not being able to get anything out of Aaron Rodgers. Mean Machine was able to barely pull that one out, get the win behind a good effort from Robinson. What do you think of this matchup, UP and Mean Machine?
I mean, this should be a cakewalk. Mean Machine's just in much better position than the UP. Again, mismanagement has plagued this team all season. Right. I think it continues. What's Derrick Henry doing on your bench? What's Josh Allen doing on your bench?
Right.
These guys are top 3 at their position. They shouldn't leave your lineup when the rest of your lineup is this garbage. And so, I just look up and down. I think that Mean Machine turned themselves into a Pantheon Cup title contender, really, with the Justin Herbert pickup.
Okay.
I've not been impressed with this team's quarterbacks up to this point.
Right.
I'm changing that tune. I think that they've got a guy there that could get it done.
Right.
Alvin Kamara is a beast. James Robinson's been doing really well. Michael Thomas can stay in the lineup. This team really doesn't have a ton of weaknesses. I mean, they're going to go without a coach with the Ravens on a bye, and I think that they still win comfortably.
Right.
Because we're probably going to see Gronkowski come back to the UP, and we're not going to see again guys that can actually score. I've got Mean Machine winning this one, 132 to 98.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, man. I got the Mean Machine here. This is all I have to really say about this matchup. The United Players would have beat only for the boss. They would have left no doubt last week if they played Derrick Henry. I got the Mean Machine winning this matchup. 131 to United Players 105. And moving on to our next matchup, we got Patty's Twins taking on the Baby Gas team. All right, man, so look at this, man. Patty's Twins really needs this game. They're at 2-4. They've lost a couple of heartbreakers in a row. The Baby Gas team, they set their lineup last week, but it isn't like they've gotten to it this week. They got 2 guys on the bye in their lineup. What do you think of this matchup? Patty's Twins and the BGT. I think that Patty's Twins probably should roll here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Aaron, the way that Green Bay lost last week, I think that this Houston matchup is a get right week.
Okay.
And I think that he excels. I think. But that potentially hurts her with David Johnson if this game gets out of hand. That being said, I mean, this is a week where it's just a tale of the two teams. With the Twins not having Jonathan Taylor, they've been pretty devastated by injuries all season. I think that they're still in a better position when you look at the Baby Gas team, and with Dalvin Cook's injury, with them being even on the bye, Mark Ingram, like there's just a lot of guys on the bye for the Baby Gas team, and they frankly just have not got really the caliber of guys in their lineup. I think to win this matchup,
right,
as it stands, they're going to have to go get a coach because the Steelers should roll in Tennessee, and so I think that the Twins have a get right week and win this matchup 127 to 104.
All right. I'm have to agree with you, man. I think that Patty's Twins wins this matchup. Yeah, I think even if the Baby Gas team was to put a lineup together, let's say they got Melvin Gordon in the lineup and got Jarvis Landry or Jamison Crowder in, I still don't think that they could stand up to Patty's Twins this week. I'm with you. I think that Houston Green Bay game is going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be a game where Aaron's going to have to flex a little bit, throw a little bit more. And let's just be honest, he got embarrassed last week. He's a proud guy, and I think that he's going to come back firing. I think that David Johnson, there's more points actually out there to be had for him. I think that his routes run, I was looking at a statistic, his routes run are one of the highest in the league for running backs. It's just the fact that he's just not being targeted. I think that if they go to the film and if Watson stops holding onto the ball so much looking for that big play and, start dumping a few more off, Johnson could be very, very effective. And this may be a week that they decide to do that, to try to play a little ball control while they're passing the football. Gibson, they're playing Dallas. I like that matchup there. Robert Woods, it doesn't even matter the matchup for him. It seems like he gets open against any defense. And I think that that's going to continue Monday night against Chicago, and that's a good play to have towards the end. And, with the baby gas team offering little to no resistance, I don't see why Patty's Twins doesn't roll here. I do like Will Fuller. DJ Moore has also played well lately, and I think that they're going to be in a big-time shootout in New Orleans, or in a game at least where they're playing catch-up that DJ Moore can do some damage. But they need running back help. They need to get T.Y. Hilton out of their lineup. T.Y. Hilton shouldn't be in their lineup even when he is playing because, like I said, Rivers can't take advantage of his speed. I got Patty's Twins winning this matchup 117 to the BGT's 99. And moving on to our prestige matchup of the week, we have the GAFF attack taking on Squad Underestimated. All right, man, so this matchup is a great matchup here. We got Russell Wilson against Kyler Murray. The storylines are great. Two teams that at the beginning of the season, we expected maybe Squad to be what the GAFF is, 5-1, and maybe the GAFF to be about 3-3. Their records are obviously inverse due to the injuries suffered by Squad. But Squad Underestimated, his back was against the wall, and they came back out swinging. Now they find themselves at 3-3. Sitting there in the thick of it in the Alpha Conference, and the GAFF attack obviously is the toast of Omega. What do you think of this matchup, of the prestige matchup of the week, GAFF attack, Squad Underestimated?
Yeah, I think we're in for a treat here. I think this is going to be a prestige matchup. I think it's going to live up to the hype.
Okay.
That being said, I'm going to go with the GAFF. The reason being, I think it's pretty apparent. The bye week is going to hurt. It's going to hurt Squad. Losing a guy like Adam Thielen, who's put up really consistent numbers. Arguably one of the best at the position. Right. That's really hard to
rank second.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be hard to miss that. And I frankly, I don't like the Buccaneers defense head coach play.
Right.
I think that you saw them really go lights out last week against a really good Packers team. Mm-hmm. But traveling to Las Vegas, let's not forget, this team lost to the Bears 2 weeks ago.
In Chicago, on the road.
In Chicago, they're very beatable. Tom is slow. This Las Vegas defense, I think, gets at him. Okay. The way that this team just beat the Chiefs. If they can beat the Chiefs, they can beat the Bucs. Okay. So I think that he's putting a little bit too many eggs in that basket. True. I think even if the Bucs win, it ain't gonna be a blowout. And so I think that you look across the way here. I think the Chargers, could lose to Jacksonville, but I think it's a much more winnable game. Okay. And I think that the Bills should have a pretty good day defensively with a terrible Jets team. Other than that, I think that there's a lot of high-scoring potential. Again, he's, I think, just putting too many eggs in that basket. And I think that's what ultimately burns him, because I think Vegas could easily win this game. And so I'm gonna give it to the GAFF. I think that they get this one 128 to the Squad's 121.
All right, I'm gonna have to go the other way here. Squad Underestimated is finding a way to win every single week. And, they got a little bit more good news with the Raheem Mostert injury. Jerick McKinnon is back as the number one running back for the San Francisco 49ers. So he's got two number one RBs in the lineup, something that I feel like he's needed to have to be taken seriously. And he's found a way to get by in weeks that has not been the case. So hats off to Squad for that. He gets his trade piece, Chris Carson, back against Arizona. I think he's going to be able to run the football because they're going to play back. They're going to really try to take away Metcalf and Lockett, and I think that's going to give Chris Carson some room. I like Kenny Golladay against Atlanta. You see what they did last week as far as giving up passing to receivers. I think Galladay can have a big game against the Falcons. And let me talk about a guy that I got to sing squad's praises for acquiring, Mr. Tyler Fulgham of the Travis Fulgham of the Philadelphia Eagles. This guy actually has provided some stability at the receiver position for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm looking at his stats right here. He hasn't had a single-digit week yet. He's at 12, 27, and 16 the last 3 weeks, and he's showing that he's reliable, and that was a very good pickup for squad underestimated. Don't like that Mark Andrews isn't in the lineup, and I see your point with Tampa Bay head coach and Tampa Bay defense, but I think the Chargers could easily lose to the Jaguars. I think that projection of them getting, the projection for their coach is very high. I mean, they could win by a lot, but I think Gardner Minshew could easily come in there and find a way to outplay Herbert and win that game. I think that projection's high. Buffalo and New York, while that looks easy for Buffalo, their defense has not looked good at all. Darnold's supposed to come back into the lineup, and that is a divisional matchup, so I'm not as sold on that one either, but I can see Buffalo also doing well there. So don't quote me on that one. But talking about putting eggs in the basket, the GAFF is going heavy with the Tennessee guys with Janu and A.J. Brown. Now, they both are very good, but they're playing the Steelers this week. The Steelers have looked very good on defense this year. I do like that GAFF has DeAndre Hopkins to offset some of Kyler Murray's damage. But, I mean, let's look at last week. DeAndre only had 8, and Kyler still had like 30. So Kyler can do damage whether DeAndre eats or not. I got squad underestimated here, and I'm going to put it in an inverse of what you got. I got squad 131 to the Gaffs 121. Alrighty, PPLers, thanks for another week of PPL Live. May the odds be ever in your favor. Gino the Gent and Ulysses S. Hate signing off.